Hey rock buddies, it's Papa. Hope you guys are having a good day, and it's nice to be talking with you again. On our first video that was about igneous rocks, we talked about the igneous rocks that are produced at rifting centers. And those rocks are mafic rocks. That means they're high in iron, magnesium, and calcium. They're dark in color usually, and they're very heavy and have very high melting points. And the rocks that we found at the rifting centers were gabbro pluton and diabase pluton and basalt lava. Then we looked at rocks that are produced at subduction zones, and we found the same mafic rocks that I've just mentioned in subduction zones, but we also found Felsic rocks. Those are rocks that are high in silicon and potassium, and that would be granite pluton and dacite lava. Had a hard time getting that one. And felsic tuff that's blown out of the volcano. All these rocks are felsic rocks. That means they're high in silicon and potassium and aluminum. They're light in color, usually light in weight, and they have very low melting points. It doesn't take a lot of heat to melt them. And then in between the dark mafic rocks at the bottom of the stratovolcano and the top of the stratovolcano, we had these intermediate rocks, and those rocks would be diorite pluton and andesite lava. Okay, excellent review. Now we're going to talk about the rocks that happen when you have continental crashing, any kind of crashing event where two continents crash, or a microcontinent, which is just a small continent, crashes into a big continent, or an island arc crashes into a continent. So, and if you like this video and it's helpful to you, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, because it really helps me know what material to put out to really give you guys some good information. So here we go. In the first video on igneous rocks, we learned that rifting creates and enlarges oceans. On the video on subduction, we found that subduction creates and enlarges continents. Now we're going to talk about continental crashing, and this is where continents come together to create supercontinents. A supercontinent occurs when all of the continents on Earth come together in crashing events to create one giant continent. This is supercontinent Pangea. It was the last supercontinent that we have had so far, and it began coming together around 300 million years ago. So there are three kinds of crashing events that I know about. First of all, there's where an island arc, like the islands of Japan, crashes into the mainland. The second kind of crashing event I know about is where a microcontinent, and that would be like the Acadian microcontinent, crashes into the mainland. And then the third kind is where a continent crashes into another continent. And the big example of that would be where Africa, which was called Gondwana back then, crashed into Proto-North America back during the Alleghenian orogeny. So three kinds of crashing events, but all three produce about the same kind of igneous rocks. Here is the case in which a volcanic island chain, represented by the volcano on the right, crashes into a continent. You can see that the volcanic island chain is pressing the crust, the continental crust of the continent down, pushing it down into the mantle. Now, continental crust is made of mostly felsic rocks like granite and metamorphic granite, granite gneiss. So when granite or granite gneiss are pushed down into the mantle, they remelt, and usually they reform as granite. This is a kind of recycling operation where any granite or granite gneiss of the continental crust that's pushed down into the mantle and melts, reforms as granite. Any granite of the continental crust that is not pushed down into the mantle but does get crashed by the crashing continent usually is metamorphosed into metamorphic granite, which is granite gneiss. So there you have it, rock buddies. Whenever there's continental crashing going on, whether it be an island arc or an island chain crashing into a continent, or a microcontinent crashing into a continent, or another big continent crashing into a continent, the continental crust is pushed down into the mantle, melted, and reforms usually as granite. Okay, well, I hope this was helpful to you, and if it is, please subscribe. And this is Papa wishing all my rock buddies happy rock hunting. Papa out.